Hey, what's up YouTube? Dom the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and today we're going to take a look at another toy grade drone. This is from a company called TKKJ. This is the L600. This is a toy grade drone, and I'll leave links down in the description if you're interested in checking this thing out. So this thing does feature an HD FPV camera, so that's one of the main features that it has. Comes in a very small box, you can see just kind of in my hands how small it is. However, the drone itself is not really that small once we get it unfolded. So it's also known as the Brilliant drone, I guess. So it does come with a wireless controller. It has optical flow positioning, which is really nice, which means it hovers nicely in place. So we'll take a look at that once we take it outside. So some of the other features that it has, we have a headless mode, we have 360 version, so that's for flips. We have a 6-axis gyroscope, HD camera I already mentioned. The 2.4 gigahertz is for transmission between the controller and the drone itself. Of course, we already talked about FPV real time. One key return, the hovering position is because of the optical flow sensor that it does have, and then it has median accelerator and one key for takeoff and landing. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what all you get in the box. There is right there a QR code, as you can see. So it does work with both Android and iOS. I've been using it with my iPhone. And here we go. Here is the controller. Nice plain Jane controller, but all of the modes up here are nice, well marked, and it does actually vibrate when you turn it on, which is kind of cool, so it lets you know that it's on. So go ahead and turn it back off. So this is going to control our up and down, and this is going to be our yaw to the left and yaw to the right, and then of course we're going to go throttle forward, throttle backward, left and right. Over here we have our one key for turning on the camera, for taking a picture, and then that's for our flips, so that's why it says 360 there. Over here we have low and high, that's basically for changing our speeds. And then this one is for headless mode, and this is for one key kill. Basically, if you touch this button, you are literally going to drop it right out of the air immediately. Alright, so that is the transmitter, and then we have the drone itself. So a couple of things to mention here. So this is our battery compartment. You can use you can actually use a screw in there, but I'd recommend really not, because it does latch in nice. You really don't have a reason to ever use it. I haven't used a screw, and I've been using this for quite a while now. So you can see to unfold the arms, there's a little button right here. So there's a silver button right there for each of the 4 arms, and let's go ahead and open it right up. Alright, so there is our camera. Now it says 720p, and you can actually remove it, so I could slide it right out of there. So we could just go without it, but we're going to go ahead and use it, since I'll go ahead and show you what the FPV looks like once we get it outside. Whoops, get that all the way out there. Alright, so that is the size of the drone. It's really not that small. It's a toy grade drone, but it's not one that I would necessarily fly indoors because of how large it is. I did fly it indoors, so if you're a more experienced drone flyer, you'll be fine. But I would say, unless you're a more experienced drone flyer, I wouldn't necessarily recommend flying this one indoors because of the size primarily. So we'll go ahead and set that off to the side. Actually, there's the power button, so when you turn it on, which it's not going to turn on at the moment because I took the battery out. And inside the box here you get the battery, and you can see here that we do have a 3.7 volt 850 milliamp hour battery, and we'll test out how long we get for flight time with that. Now this is an alligator clip for plugging in our phone for the FPV view, and it just slides right into the back, clips in nicely to the back of the controller. I should also mention the controller takes 4 AA batteries that aren't included in the box. This is the charger for the battery, so you just plug it into any USB, plug it in over here, and we're good to go. So you can just plug that in. It takes about an hour, a little over an hour to charge this up, and we'll test out how long you get. So it comes with the 4 protectors there, and we're not even going to use those because we're going to go out in an open field, so not bad. And it does come with 4 extra what are these called? Alright, so in the bag, in the couple bags you get here, you get 4 prop guards. We're not even going to use those, but they do just kind of slide in. You can see they have little pieces there where they slide in. You can throw in a screw there for extra protection, make sure that they stay in there nice and well. I'm not going to put those on just because I don't feel like they're necessary for me. But if you're more, a newbie when it comes to flying drones, you'll want those. And then we have 4 extra props, a screwdriver, and some extra screws. So the screws are for screwing in the prop guards and also for screwing in the battery. But I wouldn't necessarily do that just because it's kind of annoying to have to constantly take that out and off, especially considering that the battery here isn't going to last you more than 10 minutes. So you're definitely going to want to just keep that screw out, I think, because like I said, it latches nice in there anyways. All right, so let's go ahead and take it out for a fly and see how this thing performs. Alright, so I am out here in beautiful Port Huron, Michigan. This is called Lighthouse Park. So right out there you might see Lake Huron, and then behind that, that's actually Canada. So Canada's right across the river there. And then we have the lighthouse right up there, and then right over there, you might not be able to see it, but that is the bridge to Canada. So we're gonna go ahead now and test out the drone. So we got the drone down here, and we got the remote. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the drone on. I got it all charged up, and so from there we're going to go ahead and turn the controller on, and to bind them we're just going to hit up, so it automatically bound as soon as I turn the controller on. So we got the propeller started. Now you might notice out there that there is quite a bit of wind, so they stopped because I stopped, but there's quite a bit of wind coming in, so this will be a good test for the drone itself just to see how it actually handles it. So let's go ahead and start it up and get it going. Alright, so it's going to fight the wind quite a bit, but notice that it's holding its altitude quite well. It'll do that up to about 10 meters. I can't remember if it's 10 feet or 10 meters. So we'll go ahead and hit back. Now right now it's going to have a hard time fighting the wind. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it up to the high speed, because this wind is pretty strong. So in the high speed you can see it's doing a pretty good job fighting the wind, but on the low speed it will not fight this wind. So if you want to fly this thing, you're going to want to fly it in some relatively light wind here, because you can see it's really fighting the wind right now. Does a great job. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do a flip. It might be kind of crazy with this wind right now. Probably not advisable to be flying this one in quite the kind of wind I'm flying it in right now. All right, so I'm gonna hold it down, and there you go, there's a flip. So you have to actually hold that 360 button down. Now I'm constantly fighting the wind here, so this is not something you'd have to do if you're indoors or on a light windy day. I'm just getting all that wind coming off of the lake right now, so. And you can see it's definitely blowing in towards me. All right, so let's do one more flip. Let's do a backwards flip. There we go. Whoa. And the wind caught it while it was doing the flip, so there we go. All right, so if we actually had the ability to hold altitude, let's see if it can hold altitude at a lower level where there's not as much wind. All right, so down here where there's less wind, it's doing a fairly decent job, so you can see that right now. But as soon as I bring it up, all that wind is coming right off the lake and it will take it right off. So you can see right now it's doing a fantastic job of holding altitude, so that's great. So let's go. Now one thing I will mention is just a slight complaint about the drone is the fact that when you do have it on the high mode, notice that it kind of pitches down pretty low. So it is going to lose altitude, I've found, when I have it on that high mode or the faster speed. It pitches pretty hard down like this, right? It is like it is right now. So anytime you have it on high mode, it's going to pitch down kind of hard. So you're going to have to kind of maintain the altitude just a little bit anytime you have it on that higher mode and you're going full speed. So this thing will move pretty fast. Let's go ahead and I'm going to let it go with the wind right now. It's doing a pretty decent job against the wind right now. So there we go, kind of in that sun, so we'll move out of the sun a little bit. So it's holding its altitude. It's fighting the wind right now on its own. I'm not doing anything with the sticks, so that's pretty good. All right, so notice that it does have those green lights underneath. Those are nice for kind of determining which one's your front, which one's your rear. Of course, you do have headless mode on this. So headless mode essentially is going to allow you to send it forward no matter which direction. So if I'm pulling back, it's always going to come back towards me. If I pull it forward, it's always going to go away from me. Right, left will always be right and left, regardless of the orientation of the drone itself. So we're not going to test that out. I do know that it works. But for the sake of this review, we will not be doing that. But this thing is fighting this wind pretty good. This is a really light toy grade drone, and for it to be fighting this wind like this, not too bad. So you can see it's doing a real good job handling its own here. So definitely a drone that I can recommend.